Alright folks, Greg here. I'm aware I've been a bit quiet this year. I look back at when I last released a video, I was like, ooh, January. I should probably put something out to say what is going on with Crossguard, because people in the Discord already know a bit, but that again was back at the start of January. So, quick update for those who aren't on the Discord, but kind of good news for you as well, because things are a lot further along. So this is an update on Crossguard, where Crossguard's at, when you're going to get to play it. Like I said before, I do want to put out videos, but it's not my main goal in life. My main goal right now is to just get Crossguard done as soon as possible, and get that released for you guys. So that's one reason I'm not really focusing on videos right now, and that's going to continue through this year. But yeah, a lot of people have expressed interest in playing Crossguard. And I get that. I get it's kind of a dick move to be like, hey, here's this awesome game I'm making. Can I see it? No. So I'm sorry about that. With that in mind, as people on Discord already know, my first priority is to get the beta version of Crossguard out and playable as soon as possible. So I've been hammering away at the game day in, day out. It's hard to convey the sheer amount of work I've done since the Daggerheart video on getting this out, now that I have people actually paying attention and want to play the game. What I am also aware of is I am just one person, which is great. It's my preferred way of working. But I know that the moment I launch the game, I'm going to be spending more and more time talking to people, answering questions, and rushing to fix all the stuff they find that's broken, that half the time I already know is broken, but I do want to just at least get the game in a better state and fix those things before I put it out there. Just like a little example, it's like, maybe I'll change the rules in one place, and that's the new current version of the rule, but then I need to go back and change every reference to that rule in every other part of the rules, and sometimes I miss bits. It's like, oh, okay, there's a reference here to something that doesn't exist anymore. Even though the rules work, it's just not very professional. It's not really something I want to put out there. But I'm trying to figure out a way to to reconcile those two things, because I know people want to play it, and I know maybe I'm being a little nitpicky, a little perfectionist. This is also a big book. It's well over 100,000 words. Including all my old drafts, the entire working folder of Crossguard contains 950,000 words, because for every one mechanic that exists, I've killed 10. This is my magnum opus. This is my favorite thing that I've ever worked on. That's why I can work on it morning, evening, and night. The game is my obsession, and it's a very long-term so I'm very, very, very grateful for all the interest people have shown. All the people who have asked to see it, which is, it's frustrating, but it's also really, really nice to hear at the same time. All I can do is beg your patience a little bit longer. I can only run a game as one person for a small handful of people, but if I get the rules out there, I can reach a lot more people. So in order to get the game to you faster, I have cut the open playtests, and instead of that, what I've been doing in my in the time between working on the game, I've been running a campaign on a weekly basis. Having the same group of players each week is just a lot easier. And obviously, while the one-shots are cool, a big part of RPGs is building and developing a character, building a story together, and I want to test that part of the game as well. But obviously, my own world isn't done yet, and I don't have a spare Crossguard campaign book lying around. That's work for you awesome module writers, hopefully in time. So what I decided to do instead was to go back and play in a classic world that somebody else created with a campaign I've always wanted to run. That is the Greyhawk campaign, Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And running a campaign in the system has been great. These playtests have been invaluable to getting the game ready, so absolute shout out and thanks to my Crossguard crew, Saltmarsh crew. As part of that, I've also been working on VTT integration. Again, I think most people playtest the game long before that, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Did take a hack at Roll20, but it's a bit of a nightmare to mod, so that's going to take a minute. Foundry has been a lot easier. For those who don't know, Foundry is just kind of like a luxury Roll20. The GM just has to buy it once, and then after that, you can just have it forever, all the premium features. And it's really, really easy to mod and make sheets for. So I've been using this module called Custom System Builder, where you can build your own sheets with formulas, and it works really well. And I've been building Crossguard in Foundry. Still pretty buggy, but what that means is when I drop the beta soon, you will get Foundry support as well. There's also a Google Sheet that still works for those of you who just want to, you don't want to log into Foundry, you don't want to use Foundry, maybe you want to use Roll20 or something else. That's what we've initially been using. We've been using, we used a lot of Roll20 for those playtests. Yeah. And hopefully, once I get those rules out there, some enterprising modders might be able to take it to some of the other VTTs like Roll20 on my behalf. I would be very grateful. Yeah. The bestiary is another thing that I've been putting off for a while, because obviously every time you change the rules, you have to change every entry in the bestiary. Bit of a pain in the ass. But it's also essential for running a campaign. So now, thanks to the Saltmarsh campaign, we now have a more up-to-date bestiary full of pirates and bandits and giant weasels and all the other horrible things lurking around Greyhawk. So, anyway, let's cut to the chase. Let me take a sip of my coffee. How soon are you going to be able to play the beta version of the game? Like I said before, once it drops totally publicly, it's going to take a lot of time and energy to address all the feedback. I don't want to just drop this and walk away. I want to be able to support every little cell of beta testers. I've also been trying to figure out a way to support myself while doing all this, because I don't want to slow down the game development to do other shit. I've looked into maybe doing a bit more YouTube, kind of tested the waters with that other video, with like a less well-edited video, because, well-edited videos take time. When I worked on that Daggerheart video, that was a week off of development from Crossguard. I don't want to be doing that. It's time, and this year is going to be very, very, it's going to be very, very busy for me. I need every minute. And like, I've seen a lot of YouTubers fall into this trap of being like devs on YouTube and spending more time talking about the game than actually working on it. And I get it. It sucks because you got to have marketing. You got to have people be able to see your thing. But YouTube was just going to leech up more and more of your time and slow down the time until the game actually launches. It's a real dilemma. And honestly, I find speaking in front of a large audience stressful. But something I can do is yap in front of smaller groups or in written form. I can write for days. And I've seen a lot of people doing Substacks and the like. But that also takes away time from development. So what can I do? Because I do still want to do fun stuff, have more playtests with more people, like open playtests, and I am still yapping on a daily basis about game design. It's just to like my playtesters or to my girlfriend. So that kind of gave me an idea, because if people are willing to listen to me just yap unedited, maybe there's something I can do with that. Because I am writing about like the change log. Obviously, like last week I did like 3 fucking change logs on the thing, and I was thinking, like, I'm just showing this to 4 people. Why don't I just start putting some of this up on like a dev blog of sorts? Because some people have expressed interest in that sort of thing. And I did say the mailing list was just going to be for big announcements, and I do want to honor that. Keep it just for stuff like that, for people who don't really want to necessarily follow the beta progress of the game. So I'm going to get 2 birds stoned at once. I'm going to start myself a Patreon for Crossguard. And the idea is to release the game to a smaller group of playtesters and then gradually open things up. But I'll also be documenting my development journey, talking about all sorts, providing regular updates on the game. Because I'm going to be real, as I've said before, this is a long-term project. I'm probably not going to be releasing the finished version of Crossguard this year. But that doesn't mean you can't play it in the meantime. So, later this month, I will be releasing the full rules as they stand, all 300 odd pages. There's going to be That's going to be for Patreon subscribers only for now, but there will be a preview version. But again, that's not all the Patreon is for. Like, if you want to just subscribe, get the book, and then unsubscribe, that's fine. But this will be the base of the long-term development of Crossguard. That means all the playtest material, all the beta rules, all the updates, those will be coming out first on the Patreon before I make them public. There's a lot of stuff I've made that probably won't fit into a published book for a long time. Beta stuff, like the current work-in-progress rules from mechas, or some of the crazier powers that probably won't make it into the base game, maybe don't fit thematically into like a dark fantasy setting. This is sort of like, unearthed arcana. Random stuff I think up as well, like random tables, bonus monsters, traps, and hazards, and so on. That's the kind of stuff I can also be putting up on the Patreon. And if people are interested in watching me beta test the game, I could also put up those Crossguard Saltmarsh recordings. It's very scrappy. We are not voice actors, and I'm not a professional GM. We're just a handful of chucklefucks playing a beta version of the game while I desperately improvise Crossguard versions of stuff on the fly, like how rock grubs work. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to get this out there to talk about where things are at. I'm so grateful to everyone who's shown an interest in the game, subscribed here, or signed up on the mailing list. I know that there's new shiny games and books coming out every week, so I'm really glad that compared to video gamers, I think tabletop gamers tend to be a bit more patient, a bit more long-term. So if you want to keep waiting for the full rules, I totally get that. I will keep you updated on the mailing list and on here. But if you don't want to wait, or if you're interested in following development, that is what the Patreon is for. For maybe if you want to start your own little solo campaign, like my Ironsworn Starforged in Crossguard bit. The game's ready for that, and maybe you'll have more time to play it than I have. You can give me a little bit of playtest feedback on your own little solo campaign. Anyway, yeah, keep an eye out. End of this month, if you go click on the Patreon link, it will let you know when it's out and when you can subscribe to that. I really, really, really appreciate support. Thank you. Have an awesome rest of your day. Cheers.